want to welcome you all to The Gateway.
The Gateway is a video podcast directed and hosted by staff members of Somerset Community College's student newspaper, The Bridge.
This is The Gateway.
Hello, and welcome to The Gateway, an offshoot of The Bridge. We spend time interviewing interesting people with valuable information. If you or someone you know are interested in appearing on The Gateway, please shoot us an email and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
My name is Erin Most, and my co-host is David Turner, and our guest today is the president of SCC, Dr. Castle. How are you today, Dr. Castle?
I'm very good, Erin. Thanks for asking.
Would you care to take a minute to tell our audience a little bit about yourself and your career with SCC?
Sure. I've been with SCC about 5 years now, a little over, and it has been a roller coaster ride from day one to today. All in a good way, I might add. It's been a lot of fun, I think. I get a lot of enjoyment out of watching students go through the process and finish up their degrees. And I'm hoping I'll see everyone that's in here at the same time at some point on the stage when we can hand you your diploma as well. And that's the most gratifying part of what we do. But we're also a big part of the community and the people in this area. They do an awful lot of work for SCC, but SCC also supports them in a lot of different ways. So whether you're talking industrial, whether you're talking transfer, whether you're talking just someone who wants to learn a little bit more, SCC provides that conduit for them to be in a better place. So.
That's wonderful.
And as the president, you're a pretty busy person usually. You as busy as you are, you go to SGA events. You went to PTK induction. You're doing the podcast now with us here, and we thank you for that dedication. As for that, what do you feel you get for that involvement that you have with SCC as the president?
I'll tell you what, I get a lot more than I give. This place has a way of taking anything that you put into it and doubling it and giving it back to you. So for instance, you talk about the PTK event last week. When I went in, I was looking to see what new things the PTK had provided, new students and what they were, and when I left, I had nothing but good stories and just some ideas that we're in a good place for the future with those students. Everything I've been involved with at this college has always seemed to kind of move to a very positive side and a very positive for both the students and for us.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty fast-paced here at Somerset Community College as well. Are there any events coming up that you would like to talk about?
Oh, there are probably a number of them, and you're going to catch me on this one because I don't have anything specifically in front of me right now. I think for us, my next big thing is going to be graduation, but a little bit before that, we'll be doing the fall forum. So we'll talk with all the faculty and staff, and of course students are welcome as well if they want to get in the middle of that and take a look at it. But those kinds of things, along with our leadership council and the council groups that are working together, those are the things I look forward to on a regular basis with everybody. There's, of course, Halloween, and I think this year's Trail of Treats or something of that. A new idea, by the way, that I think our folks over in the advisors and the council, I'll get it right here in a minute, admissions counselors kind of thought it up, but bringing those trick-or-treaters in to the buildings, kind of let them see what we have here. At the same time, of course, that's how you entice everybody with some candy. They always want to come in. So that'll be a good thing for us as well. And then all of the other things that students will eventually show up and tell me about and work with. PTK, you guys have an event coming up, do you not, for the fall?
October 23rd. Yeah. Honors in Action will be the psychological effects, immediate psychological effects of play on mental health. Yes. I got to talk with Nicole a little earlier about that, along with Joe, and it's a very exciting project. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. If it turns out, that'll be something else we can bring to the students here and help them make it a better process for them as well. So good stuff.
Well, I know that SCC also purchased a new location to host classes, the Valley Oak Complex. Is the Valley Oak fully operational yet?
Yeah, no. If there are things that kind of keep me up at night, that might be one of them. It has been a real nightmare, quite honestly, to get that set up the way we were looking for. We bought it with the idea that we would take a few months to do some overhaul of that, but it has turned into a real quagmire since then. We're starting to come out of it now, which is a good thing. But I will tell you that the idea of what's going on at Valley Oak is very good. First off, let me just tell you about the construction piece, because that's what your main question was. There are two buildings out there, 580 and 610. 580 is primarily finished, lacking some paint. They'll be doing some work on the kitchenette area in there and the classroom. And then we'll move in full-time, start doing some welding classes out there to begin with, some advanced manufacturing, and some other types of courses that are out there. Heavy equipment's coming to that area, heavy equipment operators, as well as underground and overhead utility folks. So when 580 is done, that'll give us that insight to get started, and so that'll be the beginning. 610, on the other hand, has been rough, and so we had to go back out there and contract with some folks, and working through the state system for big projects and capital projects. Well, let me just put it this way: I used to tell people when I was in the Air Force, I could take a squadron of 250 people and 18, 24 airplanes and be here and be overseas somewhere in 2 days flying combat missions. Here, it's taking 2 years to get this building done, and that's kind of the frustration I have with it. It's not the people at our system office or the people here. It is just a matter of the process of going through the state system and making sure that it's right. The final bids are turned in. We should be picking, I think they've picked the person that's going to be doing the contract work. That should be short-term. Springtime looks like 610 will be the place for us to be. At that point, we're going to move our workforce solutions folks out of there and move them in the middle of an industrial complex area. And that is just really the ideal place for that. In addition, the third thing going in out there is a CDL pad. Our CDL driver's license. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for large trucks. And our trucks and everything will be taught out there at that pad in the future. So I'm kind of excited that that's going to be happening. You got to keep in mind the original vision for this was 30 acres sitting right across the street from TTAI, Hendrickson, Gatormaid, Modern, trucking company up there that just moved in from California. So we have all these different groups and our lineman center that just made it an ideal place to put these kinds of training and areas in. So now we're finally going to see some of the I think, fruit of our labor, so to speak. But it has been a long process. And I'm proud to say it's almost to the end.
That's wonderful.
And I would say, especially looking at, construction in general and trying to, renovate and get something set up, that unfortunately what do they say, the best laid plans, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that makes sense, that, you got started on it, and unfortunately sometimes things come up, but hey, I'm glad to hear that it's getting, completion done on it.
Yeah.
Is there an ETA on when they're hoping to classes start out there?
Yeah, we are looking at classes later on this semester for welding, but it'll be a single group, and then I believe heavy equipment is already scheduled to start out there. Underground overhead utility has been going on, but I don't know that there's a class scheduled right at this point. There should be. But you also nailed it on another topic, and that is when you work with a bigger project like this, over the past year and a half, costs have just moved through the roof. Just look at gas and groceries and all the other things you're paying for. Well, the same thing happened with buildings, and so at this point, we've had to go into the drawing room, come back out, go in again after they told us it was way more than we could afford, and come back out again at the same time. So, long day,
Yep.
to say the least.
Well, is there anything else that we haven't touched upon that you would like to talk to the audience about?
In particular, I would just like to tell you what a great fall it has really been for me, and especially over the summer for our students. We are, as of today, approaching our goal for fall enrollment. It's 5,701. That is, today was 5,565. I believe we are just on the cusp of this, and if we stay on track, we're gonna make that goal really well. Same thing with FTE, same thing with our credit hours. All those things are great, and I'm happy that they're occurring. But they are due to you, the students who come in, trust us to give you the education you need, but also to the people that work here, in particular, all of our student affairs folks that have dealt with this in Enrollment Management Office since the start. And they have been just extraordinarily time-consuming. A lot of work has gone on. They have just kind of bucked up and said, this is what we're going to do, and this is where we're headed. That's the goal, and they've gone out and done it. So I'm really, really excited about that. I'm kind of excited about our new Case TCS president. I think I'm scheduled to leave tomorrow night, spend the night over there, but in that 2-day period, I'll be talking with all 3 of the candidates, along with the other presidents. You have a chance to see and talk with, I don't know about talk with, but at least see and hear the 3 candidates that are applying for this, because this is a very, very important position for us right now. KCTCS is a great system, but we have needed a president in there for quite a while. We've had an interim, an acting president, Dr. Ferguson, who's done a really bang-up job. But you can't be a college president and assistant president and expect everything to always be 100% right. So it's been a struggle for them as well. But I think they've done a great job of keeping the ship afloat, if you will, to move forward. And I'm looking forward to this. Now that person won't start till probably January 1st at the very least. Where they're all 3 of them are at right now, they can't just pack up and leave. So there's going to be a little bit of transition time in there, but we're almost there. So it's a good thing for us. I'm glad to see it.
Well, everyone at SCC seems to be working very hard.
They are working hard, but they're making a difference. So,
a very big one, I can see.
yeah.
Well, I think that's all the time we have today. There's a lot of exciting things in the future for SCC, and we hope that everyone looks forward to it the same way we do. Thank you, Dr. Castle, for joining us today. It was wonderful speaking with you, and thank you, everyone out there, for watching. Until next time.
For more information on SCC student newspaper, The Bridge, or the Gateway Video Podcast, email us at sccthebridge@yahoo.com or contact one of the course advisors.
This is the Gateway signing out.